We can do we can call the meeting to order at 6:08 p.m. And I see we have 1, 2, 3, and we have enough to vote in acceptance of minutes for, I believe, 9:27, 10:05, and 10:18.
Cheryl, just before you begin the rest of the meeting, you need to announce who's here because everything's being done online. So the members who are here, you need to list the members who are here. So yourself,
and Mike Bennett. Okay. Members present are me, Mike Bennett, Mike O'Brien, Todd Dargy, and John Schmeling, and Chief Chavez, and Chief Viveiros, and Tony Ross. Okay, we can acceptance of minutes. And I don't, do we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us that can accept for, what's what we got here, 9:27, 10:04, and 10:18. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call. Mike?
Yes.
Mike O'Brien?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Todd can vote on 10:18 only, because he wasn't here for the other two, correct?
I was there for 10:04, I think, not the 9:27 though. I vote to move 10:04 and 10:18.
Okay, and I vote 9:27, 10:04. I can't vote for 10:18 because I wasn't present. So did we have enough to?
Yep, I think you're fine.
Okay. Okay, are there any reserve fund transfers, line item transfers?
Not at this time.
Okay, yeah. And we're going to have, you wanted to discuss the possible use of ARPA money for wage study?
So what we're finding, Charlie had put out a questionnaire to the 10 towns and got very little response. Linda has followed up with it over the last week or two. And again, she's getting very little response. So we were wondering if, or I was wondering if it would be worth trying to hire someone who could actually do a wage study for the positions, the wage and personnel positions, in that it hasn't been done in a very long time. Actually looking at, so having a professional look at all the wages and bringing us back accurate information. When you go out to the towns, it's hard to know what you're getting when you do get information. And there is some ARPA money available. And just basically, I'm looking to see how the finance committee feels about it. It's hard for you too to take time out of your workday to be doing a study on these. If you're in favor of it, I'll present it to the selectmen and see how they feel about it. And if it's something that we could possibly, I'll reach out to other towns, see if they've used someone, try to get a price for the selectmen and try to follow up that way. It's just that we're sort of getting nowhere fast on the wage and personnel information.
It does seem that way.
Yeah.
Any comments?
Opinions?
Yeah, I'd personally be in favor of at least getting a quote for someone that would potentially be able to help us, get us a study off the ground. I know it's been falling a lot on Linda right now to go out to the other towns, and based on some of the data that's coming back, it's really hard to look at anything that's comparable. So
true. Mike Bennett.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I think it's a good idea to go out and see if there's someone that can get all the information for us, especially where we're having such a difficult time collecting the data ourselves, or Linda's having a hard time getting it rather. It'd be a good idea.
Todd?
Yeah, I agree as well. The opinion's already stated. It definitely makes sense. I think to at least take a look at the cost and weigh the benefits of that.
John? John, you're on mute. John,
Hello, sorry about that.
that's okay. And
Yeah, I mean, I think starting with the quote makes a lot of sense, and then we could do a, analysis from there to see if it's worth it based on how much it's going to cost.
Okay, so I'll try to do that in the next week. See if I can get some information, name of a couple of companies and some information about how much it would cost. And then we can go to the selectmen.
so Charlie, do we need to make a motion?
Yes.
Motion?
Yep.
Go ahead, Mike.
Motion to move forward with a quote for that would help us with wage and personnel discussions.
Second.
I'll second.
Roll call. Mike Bennett,
Yes.
Mike O'Brien,
Yes.
Todd Dodgy,
Yes.
John Schmaling,
Yes.
and I'm a yes, so please do.
All right, thank you.
And the fire chief is here to talk with us tonight. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Good. Hi, how are you?
Good.
So I guess the talking about one individual, it's Lieutenant Palmer, and moving him up from step 1 to a step 4. So I'll give you a little bit of history as to why. Lieutenant Palmer started with the fire department all the way back in 2006. He was a call firefighter until 2014, and then left for approximately 45 days to go over to East Bridgewater, and then returned in 2014, 45 days later. He worked full-time from 2014 to 2017, and then he went back to a call position. When he went back, he was put back to a step 1 on the call pay chart, which was a mistake, and I'll take responsibility for that. But now that a couple of years have gone by, and that's why we haven't put him in for additional increases, because I thought he was at the highest step, which he should have been. So basically, we're asking now to move him to that step where he should have been, but it looks like we're jumping over some in the process. So I'm sorry if that seems a little wordy, but I don't know if anyone has any questions.
In the email we received today, it was step 2 to a step 6, and you're saying he's currently at a step 1 and to move to a step 4. So he said, Chief.
Okay, I might have the number wrong. It's to the top step.
Okay.
I'm gonna move him to the top step.
Yeah, I believe the call firefighters only go up to step 4.
Okay, yeah.
The reason why it's in front of you is because any jump in steps has to go before wage and personnel, and you people are part of wage and personnel.
Do we know, I guess, what grade he's in, I guess, or like what the dollar changes that we're talking about?
So he is a call lieutenant paramedic. So I thought he was at step 1, but you're saying step 2, Sandy, is that right?
I
And
don't
I
have
was-
the information in front of me, Chief, I'm sorry.
So I'll just step 1 would be from 2330 at step 1 to 2545 at step 4. If he was at step 2, he would be at $24. So it's somewhere between $1 and $2. And Lieutenant Palmer, like I said, he works part-time. So he, on average, I would guess that he does somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 hours per year. So we're talking about maybe $400 on the, very minor impact on the budget. And it would put him where he's supposed to be.
seems to make sense to me. I don't know if anyone else has any further input.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would.
just- No, I agree.
John?
And you were saying it's just an oversight with him coming back in, which is why we're talking about it now rather than just having that happen as it would, I guess, is a way to put it.
Yeah, he's not asking for any back wages. He's fine with it. Like I said, we're trying to correct it moving forward.
I got you. Yeah, no, I would agree that sounds very reasonable.
Mike, Bennett, any?
Yeah, I agree. Same thing. It just seems very reasonable. It's not a significant amount of money to make it right. So I don't see the problem.
Todd, any comment?
No, yeah, no, I agree. It's small dollars. So
And I
I
agree
vote-
as
I vote
well.
to approve. Yeah,
We have to do a motion.
I motion.
I'll second.
Roll call. Mike,
Yes.
Mike O'Brien,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
and I'm a yes.
I just got a text from Tom saying
Uh-huh.
he's on the road, but he can't get his internet working, so he's still trying. But I
Okay.
told him you were running the meeting, Sean.
Yeah.
So thank you. I appreciate
You're
your time.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anytime. Next, wage and personnel discussions. Do we have anything to discuss or? I'm
Actually,
thinking-
since we haven't been able to get any more information on the wage scale, I think we're at a standstill unless, Charlie, there's something you can think of.
There was the idea of having the recording secretary for the board of selectmen.
Ah.
I believe some information was sent to you all showing some. So basically, the problem is the board is having far more meetings than they usually have had. And Tom Connolly's coming in a minute. I just got him in. Instead of twice a month, they're meeting 5-6 times a month at this point. And Pam McSherry's just running out of time to be able to handle the minutes and her regular work. And what the board talked about was hiring a recording secretary. That position does not exist in wage and personnel. However, under wage and personnel, the board, the board of selectmen can, on a temporary basis, establish a position, establish a grade, and if we want to do it on something on a permanent basis, it would go to town meeting in May. So it can be a graded position, it could be a ungraded position. It could be based on per meeting stipend, it can be done on the per hour. And given the limited responsibilities, I think you need to put it probably at something like a grade 2. Now, what I've seen in the information I think was sent to you is that grade 2 would be low in terms of a wage scale versus I'm not even worried about comparable towns. I mean, the work is the work in terms of a recording secretary, no matter which community you're in, but it would be lower than our grade 2. But at the same time, raising it to grade 4, grade 6 says, well, this job has the same type of responsibilities as our grade 4 and grade 6 positions right now. So either I would recommend that you would establish it at grade 2 or else make it a ungraded position with a set wage or a set stipend per meeting. One of the things the selectman said about the meeting problem would be, what happens if they have a 15 or 20-minute meeting? In that if they set it at, I'm making this up, 125 per meeting, because what the person has to do is not necessarily attend the meeting, but at least for the selectmen, all their meetings are recorded, whether it's via YouTube or in Area 58 or what we're doing right now with Zoom. So probably a per hour basis would be better than that. So I know the board is in favor of it. They're going to meet again tomorrow night to come up with their own vote, but it requires a vote of both the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee, but I don't have from the Board of Selectmen a specific request that says, well, we want grade 2 or we want it ungraded at a specific per hour. So, maybe wait for them to make a request on Tuesday or approve a request on Tuesday and come back next Monday for the Finance Committee either to agree or come up with a different number. But I believe I've sent you the information, the surveys that were taken from the other towns, so you have an approximate idea of where other communities are paying for a recording secretary. And Tom was trying to get in, and I think he failed. I don't see him on the
So
list.
many.
He was in for a moment, but that was about it, yeah.
Charlie, could you resend that information? I don't know if others haven't.
I don't have it either.
I don't have it.
Maybe you didn't get it. I will make sure you get it out tonight.
Okay. Anybody have any comments on?
My vote would be to wait until the Board of Selectmen formally discusses.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be mine also.
that would be
Todd?
mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, what, you don't need to take a motion or anything like that. You're not taking any action, and I'll bring everything back to you on Monday.
Okay,
Great.
thanks, Charlie. Correspondence. I don't, other than what Charlie sent us about the school, and the HVAC.
We're now looking both for Silver Lake and for Halifax Elementary at seeing if there's going to maybe some state ARPA, rather than just our money. The state bill that's sitting now in the legislature, they're adding on projects for communities, and we may be able to get some money for both of those projects. But
Yeah.
just to give you an update, Halifax Elementary is thinking along the same lines as Silver Lake. It's about 13,000, I think it is, 13,000 per classroom. So for splits in each of the classrooms, so we'll see where things go. on
And
that.
can we use American Recovery Act money for that?
Well, we could use it internally here, but we're also going to see if the state legislature will approve funding from the state's allocation. If the
Okay.
state, along with the cities and towns, the state got its own money.
Yeah, I
So-
saw that.
We'll see whether we can have Representative Lenatra add that to the legislation. I have, she's received the information. We may be able to get a portion done through ARPA. We'll see what we can do.
Okay. That's the only, any public participation? No. Calendar, we're set to meet next Monday, are we?
Yes,
And every Monday thereafter
Right.
for the month of November, is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
anything else?
just so the committee's aware, I'll work with you as much as I can on the budget projections for the next 5 years and whatever I can do to help out on the wage and personnel survey. But my last day will be November 20th here in Halifax. I am taking the equivalent job over in East Bridgewater and starting there November 22nd. So as with other departments, I'm saying if, those are the two areas I think I need to emphasize with the Finance Committee in the 3.5 weeks I've got left. But the other half of it, we'll be detailing to the board and leaving a note to my successor whenever that person comes in to say, here are the things you need to be thinking about this winter or next spring. Obviously, the budget and town meeting, but if there are other larger issues where simply I'm not going to be able to get that work done during the next 3.5 weeks, if there are things that you think are important to get on that list, I don't need it tonight, but in the next couple of weeks, as I'm writing up everything for the board and for my successor, that would be helpful. You should know that there's a possibility the selectmen will come to you in the next few weeks for the possibility of hiring a recruiting firm. The last time the board hired a town administrator was in 1995. So it's been a while. We're not used to doing this. So they may want to get somebody in to help. I don't know whether they're going to do a search committee, how they're going to handle it. They'll talk a little bit about it, I expect, tomorrow night.
Mm.
And I have no idea how much a recruitment firm costs these days to do this. It depends on the amount of work that the board wants. For instance, review of the job description, working with the search committee. Do we do semifinalist interviews? There'd have to be some discussion between whoever they hire and the board, but it wouldn't surprise me that it'll be, somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000 to get someone to come in to work with the board. Just give you a heads up.
We'll be sorry to see you leave, Charlie.
Well, I mean, it's been a good time, I think, but on the other hand, I think it was a door opening, not necessarily a door closing, but a door opening. My commute gets shorter by 5 minutes. There's an advantage right there.
Well, I said sorry to hear that.
Now, I'm not going too far. Not that you can call me during business hours, but I'm still, call me after 4 and I might be available.
Well, good luck.
Okay, thank you. You all too.
Thank you. Anything else? Anybody else have any comments, concerns? No?
Nothing for me, nope.
Nope.
Oh. Okay, I will adjourn the meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion?
Second?
Roll call, Mike,
Yes.
Mike O'Brien,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
and me. And hopefully, I know I truly wasn't as good as Tom, but I.
Did a
You
great
did fine,
job.
Cheryl.
Good job.
Did a
Cheryl.
good job. Good job.
Sorry to see
Everybody
you
have
go,
a good
Charlie.
night. Good week.
You
See you
too.
next week.
Thank you.
See you
See you
all.
next week.
Alrighty.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.